12th. All right. Boom, boom, boom. We got news in 5. Let's see where she goes. Got 3.5 minutes for jobless claims. We'll play something after the news drop. Ew, what's up? Good morning. We got jobless claims in over a minute. Not really sure what it's doing. I'm just observing. Apparently, the new Iran leader is supposed to speak or something too, so you could get some volatile, non-scheduled news stuff. 10 seconds about. Yeah. And Gonna do what now? Gotcha. Yeah, I heard that the price was going up or something on the news. I do. No, it's dependent on your needs because they have a lot of car companies, and due to the car companies' pressure, they have, you know how you get your certification at the gas station in America, like a $30 or $40 like sticker or whatever. But in Japan, it's like 10 times that. So it's like $400 or $500. And it's every couple years and it's really strict. And so a lot of times the inspection is like a couple days. You get a rental car and they do a thorough inspection, and they say it's for like emissions and everything, which is half true, but a lot of it is also so that they churn out new vehicles, because the cost to get the sticker oftentimes, like, it people reassess and they're like, I should just turn it in and get a new one. It comes with the sticker when I get it. So they use that as a buyback incentive. And so there's a whole used car thing uh, in Japan where people sell their used cars, and because it's coming up on that sticker time and they don't want to pay it, because sometimes the repairs will be even more than that. I'm saying the starting cost is 500, so sometimes it's like 1,000. So it's like a way the car companies pressure people to buy new cars. So you don't really see beater uppers, like, there's no clunkers or anything like that. They get that off the street. So they ship all those to like Thailand or other countries where they sell the used cars cheaper. Yeah, it's like different companies have different leverage. Like, you can't rent video games here either. You either buy them or not. Like the whole idea like Blockbuster had where you could rent them or whatever, they never had that here. And go figure, you got Nintendo, Sega, all these companies, Sony, they're like, nah. And their games were always like 8,000, 9,000 yen, which is like $80 or whatever. So they were always more expensive. Say what? Yeah, they do have used video games for sale, so that is a thing. But they don't really have the collector's mentality, so the like whole like rare video game thing isn't really a thing. So you can find like original games. I mean, they'll be expensive, but nowhere near as expensive as some of the games that are like rare in America expensive. Like I have a $2,000 US Sega Saturn game they only made 5,000 copies of as it was going out of business, but it was like one of the best RPGs ever. But it's like Panzer Dragoon Saga. It runs like in the case used for like $2,000. So yeah, they don't have that type of collector's mentality. So I have like a Super Nintendo game of Chrono Trigger in the box with the instructions in Japan, and it was only like $30. So it wasn't that expensive for the used version. Yeah, it's apparently picking up traction again. I remember when it was new and everyone was playing it. It was an interesting idea to get people to walk around. I remember I went to this park at night to do it, and I thought I was the only one with that idea. But it was like a party. Like there was like 30, 40 people at like past 9 p.m. when nobody would be walking around. And then I remember thinking like, oh, there was like a person in New York that found like a dead body trying to look for a rare Pokemon. And it's like you could basically use AR as like a tool to put out like an alert, like a neighborhood watch. Like if you were smart and utilized those systems, you could be like, release a rare Pokemon. We need to catch this perp, and then that floods the streets with eyeballs and phones to record. And they're like, oh, by the way, if you see this guy, let us know. And it's like they can dual purpose it, you know? Because I felt safe in the park. I was like, normally I wouldn't feel safe in that nighttime park, but people were listening to music, talking on benches. I was like, whoa. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, I even saw some dude on like a bicycle with like two tablets attached to it, and he was just going back and forth on his bicycle. Like, I was like, all right, whatever floats your boat. Mm-mm-mm. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of like it just the name firm and exchange, like I've seen so many come and go like the wind. So I'm just, I didn't want to like say anything negative, but I just don't really have that level of trust. Mhm. Right. Yeah. I remember there was Oh, no, go ahead. Yeah. No, it's all good. Well, there's a lot of unknowns, and I'm sure.
The finest fabrics,
Mhm.
fresh from the capital.
Is it true what I'm hearing?
Yo, what's up?
Better already. Ready, go?
You talking to me? Oh. Ah. Yeah, I was thinking that too. I'm not really sure either. I was like, why did I never even, it didn't even cross my mind. It wasn't even to be offensive. I just was like always just hanging out, But I was like, I should just join. My screen, in my profile.
Faster.
I'm on a chocobo right now.
Lord Cook has finally made his move. Yes. Any luck? Or will you be needing help with your bags?
Well, I asked her, but... Oh, you tell him.
If you're looking to make a knife that will impress a master like Lubor, there are options. They're just not that viable. Featherlight adamantite knives will get passed from generation to generation, never needing so much as a lick of
Oh, nice.
whetstone. But adamantite ore is unique to ash, so it doesn't come cheap.
I'll give it a
Beyond my
look in a
skill
bit.
to
I'm
handle.
kind of
Unique to
Yeah.
ash. Are there any materials unique to Dalamil? Something which could be mixed with iron to refine it. Make it lighter.
What are you getting at?
You said that Lubor trained you to work
yeah. I
with
always tell the kids I
That's
teach
what
I'm
he'll
more
expect you to
Japanese than
use.
you because
But he would have known
we
the
had
wood
that
would be too
like
heavy.
yesterday was
Lethal for a
the
carving knife.
that earthquake anniversary,
Dalamil
but they
remarkable
weren't even
materials.
alive to experience it.
If it's
So I'm
cheap
like,
metal
yeah,
you're
you guys
using,
don't remember
there's
because
always
you weren't
limestone, I
here.
suppose. Folk first settled Dalamil to get at her mineral
Yeah, yeah.
deposits.
The Fukushima one.
If you know the trick,
Yeah.
it can be melted down in the furnace to drive out
I could feel
impurities
it
from
all the way
low-quality
where
iron.
I'm at in like
Bloody hell.
the Aichi area, so
must
it
be
was
it.
pretty strong.
I don't suppose you know the trick, do you?
It's hardly my speciality, but I've been around enough blacksmiths to know how it works.
Looks like I've got some learning
It's
to do.
weird to experience
Not
one
if
of
I had
those because it's like
to
nothing you
ask
could
of whatever
do and
you've done
just
for
like,
me.
oh, okay, you done? Or
Limestone.
guess
Fine.
not.
I can hardly abandon you now. Besides, I want to know if this is the answer to
But
Lubor's
they
little riddle.
engineered the architecture in such a
can't
way
thank you
that,
enough,
you know,
Clive.
after the Kobe
You'll have
one
no
in like
trouble finding
1996 or
limestone
whatever,
over
they
the
had
terraces.
so many
There's
things
bloody need
collapse
of
that
it.
they made all
I
these
suppose I'll be back
requirements.
at the
So
forge.
their engineering is pretty
See you shortly.
insane because nothing falls down anymore.
Do you crush it up or just
Like the
throw it in the
Fukushima
furnace?
thing was about the safety protocols being forcibly ignored. Like if they just didn't, if the humans didn't intervene, the auto sequence like shutdown would have worked. But humans panicked and canceled it. So everything would have worked if humans didn't do anything. If they just sat back and let it do what they set it up to do, it would have shut down properly. Oops. Yeah. I don't think they ever solved it. It's kind of like the BP oil spill. It's like it goes out of the news cycle and then nobody talks about it. Yeah. I mean, they have like a bacteria now that'll dispose of plastic and break it down on a molecular level, as well as like or I think it's a fungus or something. But yeah, there's probably other solutions that we'll come up with that can hopefully solve all our polluted needs. One that like can apparently eat oil or something. I remember reading something about that. Yeah, I heard something about that too. If you don't really have the power, like I could call myself the leader of Timbuktu, but if I don't have a standing army to uphold that statement, it doesn't mean anything. So him calling himself leader of whatever might not last that long, you know what I mean? It's like, what does he have to back it up? Yeah, that's kind of why they protested initially. Was like it was like costing an arm and a leg due to all the inflation of their currency, where to even get some eggs or anything. So basic amenities were impossible to come by. Yep, 18th, I think. So it's gonna get funky next week. Funky. Double Boutum.
Is it true what I'm hearing? The most fragrant herbs and
Fresh bread, warm from the oven. Yeah, have a taste.
made from the stoutest stoneware. Sweet incense.
We should get going soon.
I loved pitch fans back in the day. You ever use a pitch fan? Like GAN fans, kind of. And that's like one bank.
Looks a lot like another. But hopefully this is what Southern needs.
That's funny. Yeah, that's kind of like what happened with the Access virus. Is like they had all these like banks, and each one has like 128 each, and you're like going from all of them to Z, and then they have like a B side, like you have all of that, and you're like, wait, what? And you're like, ah, that now I see why they call it the virus, because you get infected and you just can't stop. And they had artists upload their patch banks, and you could get those for free. So you had all these like artist banks. And I'm like, oh man. Yeah, that's one of those synths I'll never sell. That's like, it was one of the first to like connect USB to your computer and use it like a VST, but it uses the hardware. It was awesome. If you ever get a chance to get it, the sound is very original too. The Access virus. Yeah. Let me its company is Access ACESS Access ACCESS. The Access TI Polar desktop is what I have. Total integration is TI. It was.
We should get going soon. Do you have water?
Yeah, the Germans make it. They love their Detroit techno.
Needed to a silken
Juiciest meat from
softness.
greens. Yes, their high carpets have pride of place in
Hmm?
I wasn't sure how much you'd need, but I hope this is enough.
Ooh. Spring lime.
You are one of the good ones, you know that. You and that merchant both, she's got quite a gift for teaching that one. Now, time to see if limestone is the secret weapon we were hoping for. That'll do, I reckon. A knife forged from the very rocks of Dalamil. Her spirit, if you will.
It's a fine-looking blade.
I only hope Master Lube
The line.
agrees.
That sounds like my cue. And just as well. I was getting tired of waiting.
I'm sorry, Forge Master Lubor.
Let's take a look then, shall we? First things first, Sava, do you think this is a carving knife worthy of the fine people of Dalamil?
I'd like to think so. But
John, where are you?
What do I think indeed? It's sharp-ish, but it won't last long with hard use. And it's heavy, heavier than it should be. You might not think it just to hold it for a moment, but sell that to a cook and you'll never hear the end of it. It looks like someone paid a visit to the terraces. The limestone was a step
Didn't
in the
they,
right
in the
direction, granted.
Dark Fate one, kill him in the first 5 minutes?
and I was so certain
I never watched it.
I don't know who you found to teach you that little trick, but it certainly shows initiative. Next question. How much do you think I would charge if I'd made this?
Well, if it took you even a fraction of the time it took me, I would say you could demand a heavy purse.
And who would be able to pay that? The butcher? The hunter? The cooks over at the inn? Dalamil is home to humble traders, not wealthy lords and ladies. Rule number 1 in any business, Sava: know your customers.
Yes, Forge Master.
This is just about passable. But only just. I'd say you're worth keeping around a little longer. Starting tomorrow, you'll have an anvil of your own.
I will. Thank you. I was wondering, what would you do if you were asked to forge a carving knife?
I'd do what I always do. Ask who it's for. If it was for the butcher, I'd make sure it holds an edge. For the hunter, I'd make it as tough as Titan. For the cook, light as a feather. And for the nobleman, I'd make it cost an absolute fortune.
I remember that.
Master, all right.
It looks like congratulations are in order.
I remember the scene
Couldn't have
where
done
he's
it without
like,
you.
he has the
Not so
like
much for the
blade
Forge
through the
Master's
guy
will, though,
drinking
eh?
the milk.
The spirit of Dalamil has
And then he's like, where are
nothing
you, John?
to do with limestone or anything much at all. Meaning, I had you run around for no good reason.
You've passed your test. That's all that matters. You'll have a forge of your own in no time.
And when I do,
Yeah, that was
I'll
a good
craft
movie.
you the finest carving knife you have ever seen.
They had a new one recently. Like, I don't know why I watched it, but I wasn't like, it was basically like, it was like a modern twist. So it had to do with an app coming online that was going to be Skynet. And then John Connor was like infected with them or something, so he was no longer the protagonist. If what? If you were the chosen one? I don't think you could at that point. Mm-mm. That's crazy. So just like instantly. You got her. It's called lightning. Mm-mm-mm. Nice. Lightning. Dean Koontz. Amidst a raging ray lightning struck. Uh-huh. That's cool. That reminds me, like that TV show Continuum was pretty good. The Canadian, yeah. But it seems like it could hold up today. Like the special effects were pretty good. The theories about like integration with technology and having, you know, the corporation be in control of everything. Mm. Sounds like a Resident Evil game. In the latest one, they had like this hospital and they were running all these tests on the patients there. And then under the hospital, you have to go into this thing that they have where they're like apparently like disappearing homeless people. And you go through this like one scene, you have to get this key and you have to go through this conveyor belt of like bodies hanging upside down and find the space between them and go through the whole course of them rotating through this like conveyor belt, and all the bodies are being dropped into this grinding vat and they're being ground up into like pools of blood to be harvested for it's just like what kind. That would be funny. Hoo-hoo. Did they moonwalk slowly at you? They're like, ooh. Yeah, thanks. Okay, which one should I take first? Not sure. So we got what? A little over 15 minutes. 20, 28 minutes. No, my brain's not working. 18 minutes. We got a long bias on top step. Did we have any big orders? Let's go look through the past. Some 70 lot there. And a couple hundred lot buyers here. 200 lot seller down at the bottom. Liquidation most likely for that amount. That was the bounce out. Suppose we can circle this guy. So you have some buyers at the 785 and a huge seller at 750. Shrek, that's funny. Here? Well, in ATAS, like, so for example, back in where it bounced out, like if that had been now, when it pushed down to 750 in the Asia session, it hit a 232 seller here. I'm zoomed in, and that guy got eliminated, most likely a long, and then it eliminated them, and then it attempted to go lower and couldn't, and then from that point in Asia, it went all the way up. So that's, seller exhaustion, where it hit the target it was aiming at and then couldn't go any lower, and then you bounce out from that. So I look for those like large players that get hit on either side, and then whether it supports that player or goes against that player. That's about it. It's two words, either accept or absorb. And yeah, at the bottom, it normally hits a bunch of sellers, and at the top, it hits a bunch of buyers, and you just look for that fatigue, kind of. But it can happen anywhere. Like you can see, like a buyer entered at 851 here a moment ago while we were talking, and then it didn't support it, so it absorbed them and went lower. Yeah, it's kind of like, that cipher guy looking at the code and explaining. He's like, there's a girl in the red dress, there's this, it's like you just see people interest, I guess. You get to see people's interest aggressively enter, and you're like, is this guy going to get rewarded or punished? And then Bookmap has the limit orders below and above, so I'll just do the thing here. Like there's, whales waiting to get filled above and below price, and then that just gives me an interest level for where it clears out the order book. And then I can be like, okay, did it actually hit somebody down there? And then that's where a toss comes in, because it doesn't execute until they go there. They can take it off, and that's what I talk about spoofers, because sometimes you'll see like a 800 lot below or above, and you're like, well, do they actually intend to go there, or are they trying to support the price? So it's the Bookmap is more just to see. Sometimes you can see some interest before it's executed, like open interest. Yo. Gold. How's everything in your neck of the woods, Duda? Good. Oh, nice. That sounds like a good plan. That's cool. There's like a split up 600 lot order down at 24625. 200, 200, 200. It's pretty far away, but what's that about? Yeah. Yeah, I feel you on that. I saw like a seller level at that was being maintained as not being accepted, so but I didn't take it either. minute and some change. Got 10 seconds. I don't know if, yeah, we'll see. Like, I mean, I'm just observing. It happens when it happens. Looks like it's gonna sweep 6,700 though. There's like 245 contracts down at that level for ES. There's more resting orders below, but who knows? Could be defense. Yo. Ding dong. What you talking about? If we come below the 800 level, the sellers could pick up steam. Otherwise, it's just continuing into a upside shot against the sellers. Don't we have some oil inventory or crude inventory or something? Yeah. Natural gas, sorry. Nice. I'd say so. Yeah, I'm doing 5 micros at this point because it's pretty rough waters. So the resting order at 6,700 has my short interest peaked, but I need that NQ to go below 800 for me to trust that to be true. I'm trailing this short now. If it comes back to 805, I'm out. Otherwise, I'm just seeing where it goes. Where you going? They just tagged some, wait, 150? No, what is that? 120 lot seller on the way down here at 783. If it accepts it and goes beneath it, jitters beneath 783, then it could pick up steam. I'd like to see the acceptance of the seller, not of fatigue, please. But I'm going to put it down a little bit more at the 801 region. Ooh, I like that jitter. Yes, jitter away from it. That's it. Yes. Here we go. Here we go. 783. All right. The powers that be. No, not like this. Don't. Sweep them lows. Let's go. negative 3K in delta. So unless this really rips to the downside, this could just be an overall, like, ooh, nice. Come on. That's what I like to see when I'm in a short. Nice. Trailing it. Damn, it's just going. I'm still trailing this. Oh, yeah. I like it. The 6700 has those resting orders I was talking about. That's kind of the only reason I was like thinking short bias. Wanted to see it get swept. We just hit a 117 buyer at 710. If it comes below 710, you could get a real buyer absorption continuation. Oh, yeah, baby. This is massive. For 5 micros, I'm up like 1,200. This is crazy. For just wetting my whistle with 5 micros, and yeah, I like this. I did the soaking. I was soaking my micros. Oh, there we go. I'm out. All right. That was 1,478 buckaroos. Where's the, there it is. All right. That was much better than yesterday. Yesterday was kind of garbage. That's what we like to see. Now we got 81 buyer at 708, and probably like people closing out partials on their shorts, to be honest. But it could idiot. That's good. Where was that? Oh, yeah, there's a high volume node down here at 703 that, let's see. The monthly open is there too, where we just bounced off of. Yeah, that was pretty violent in the other direction. So if anyone caught that long, good on you for that too. Oh, nice. Good job. Well, let's go. Mm. Nice, EMJ. Good. Coming back on those buyers at 710. Yeah, that'll do it, woke. And then like sometimes it like builds up and you're like, all right, that's where I think it's gonna do the thing. Volume imbalance. A soak. A spleen soak. God, I shouldn't have pressed play. I only did 2 seconds, but that was 2 seconds too much. Damn, this is just ripping. They had a Japanese study where they did like a squirting contest or research for squirting, and it was like a Japanese scientist who found that it was mostly urine or something like right. But it's like, how do you like just for science, milady? You know, like and do they have like a resident guy that can do that or something? He physically picked them up in the bathtub. You got it. Who? Yep. We got the hourly close now. Damn. That was instant. All right, see ya. Have a good one. See ya. Yep. Getting some buyer interest here. 127 at 704, 78 at 711, and 81 at 720. We came back into value area low at 701, just to let you know. Welcome back. how's the merger thing working out? I remember you mentioned like not that long ago that something about getting bought out or merging or something. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so it's not necessarily like they don't know, they're just not sharing it or whatever. Mm. Yeah. Hope it works out. Inflection point. So we got a bunch of buyers up above 705-ish to 725. If it accelerates below the value area low, you could be getting some buyer fatigue and and/or absorption. So we're looking at that right now. Needs to go below 700 for that to be true. Got a couple of volume imbalances on that spurt up to the 1,000 tick down at like 680-ish. And ES still has those resting orders. I don't know if they're defenders of a zone or what at 66.95 and below that. We'll see. You just got another buyer at 703, 80 lot. If it jitters away from this guy, they might absorb him. Or the buyers are accepting it's all about the strength of who's in control. Right. Yes, kind of holding the fort here. Being a saving grace for NQ, looks like. Pop. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we got, what, 15-minute candle close. As long as you don't carry that mentality into the PA, look at it as the same thing. Okay. Okay, coming back to the 700 level, moment of truth, if it goes below it. It depends on what ES is doing. Yeah, if only. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping this accelerates to down to the imbalances below. We'll see. We will see. Yeah, I'm not seeing it hit much in that move yet, so we'll see. We will see. Okay, we took out the first imbalance. And we're hitting some sellers down here. 50 lot and a few 40 lots. needs to generate from the 67560 lot for the sellers to be accepted. Alright, I'm going to trail this side block layer because I don't want to lose. So I'm trailing this now. Yes, still has those resting orders, so that's what's like. Until I see like resting orders cleared, I don't really trust the lows necessarily. That's why I've only been shorting today. Yeah, that got me. I'm $400 in the second account on that. Alright. Oops. Just playing it slowly and steady. Yeah, I'm basically done. It's a good time to stop. It's nice that I get an extra hour, so I'm like it's 11, not midnight like it normally is. Yep. The only problem is like I'm putting the kids to bed, so there's more like chaos before streaming. You know. Whereas I can like settle for an hour before I stream first normally, but it's just an adjustment of when I hit the button to start. Alright. Wonder what's taking the ATAS on the approval. I did it like 2 days ago. I wonder if they do it in a batch, so they get a bunch of them and then they accumulate and then like approve all of them at that time. We'll see. Give me big. So we got another 50 lot seller at 671. It's accumulating sellers here. This would be, if I was still in the short, I would be trailing that 671 seller so I don't get like seller absorbed. I would use them as the guinea pig for the continuation or not. And then I really like boot. Let's see where we are on key level. So we went below the high, or there's not really much. There's Monday mid down at 5:30. We opened at 4:35. Previous low 3:48. Previous month low 2:39. So we got a bunch of levels way down low. And we're right at the monthly open. So we're trying to like consolidate a monthly open. Idiot boxy. I always talk about like coming back into the value area higher, coming back into the value area low. You could almost have no indicator and just trade that. I mean, it's solid. Yeah. Yeah, it's like I've noticed so many times. I'm just like, I'm going the extra mile, but it's like you don't really need to if you just simplify to value area low, value area high entries. You could leave the value area low too, like how we left out of it. Like you could short out of it too. Like if you see weakness of the value area low, that's a whole. Yeah, like just now it went up to 700, which was the value area low, and rejected it, and now sellers picking up steam. So you could have just had like a Hail Mary limit order up there, and then like, oh snap. Just now it went up 702, 705, and like that was value area low at 698. So you could have solved that retest of that, and that would have been 1-2. It was also volume imbalance. Right. Mm-hmm. You're hitting all the two. You're hitting all these 200 lot sellers, one at 620, another at 615, and you had a 172 lot buyer at 640 on the way down. So and then ES just swept one of the resting orders at 695. By the way, when I end the stream today, if you guys want to enter in advance for the Apex giveaway tomorrow, we'll do that again on Friday. Just go ahead and leave a comment if you don't mind. we're gonna end the stream here. So stay frugal, stay positive, stay blessed, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.